Hello, my name is Ryan Dunn, and I'm a broad field social studies education major with a second major in political science and a minor in economics education. And this is my educational autobiography. So, starting off, I was born in Colorado Springs, Colorado. My mom was going to grad school, the University of Colorado Springs. My dad was just finishing up his stint in the Army, and he was stationed at Fort Carson. After I was born, we moved to Arizona, to a little town called Sierra Vista, which is right on the border of Mexico and Arizona. And then I went to a pre-K at a little place called First Baptist Christian Academy. After that, my brother was born, and we moved to Red Wing, Minnesota, where I attended some summer programming there. I don't really recall too much because I was younger than 4 or 5 years old. Um, I started kindergarten in North Hudson Elementary, which is in Hudson, Wisconsin, which is where we ended up settling. Um, in North Hudson Elementary, the biggest things I really took away from the entire school were a love for music and a love for sports. I started playing baseball and football after my gym teacher, Mr. Hart, kind of introduced those two sports to me and continued playing them throughout middle school and high school and to this day. The other really big thing that I learned about was music. So I started playing the violin in third grade, switched over to the viola in fourth, and actually started playing the cello in fifth grade, and also started playing guitar in fourth grade as well. To this day, I actually still play guitar. I have a guitar in my room, and then play piano now, and then also kind of dabble with like the banjo and ukulele as well. They're pretty similar to guitar, so I don't really consider myself knowing those as great, but definitely started getting interested in those from what I learned in elementary school. The other really big thing in elementary school was my fifth grade teacher, Miss Guzman, who kind of really sparked my interest in civics in different kind of states and how they interact with each other. And it kind of started with a big state project where we had to research, individual states, and I researched Georgia, and like to this day, like I know quite a bit of things about Georgia. The year it started, some of the biggest things that it made, their towns, what goes on, everything about the Atlanta Braves and their history. That really sticks to me to this day. After middle school or after elementary school, went to middle school at Hudson Middle School from grades 6 through 8. Middle school, I continued playing baseball, continued playing football. Um, and the other really big thing that I really started was history and writing and getting to know them. Um, the other really big thing that I did in middle school was something called BizTown. So basically, what BizTown was this project that we did in sixth grade where we all went to this little town, all the sixth graders, and we each got assigned an individual job, and then got a budget. So we got paid for this job, and then we went to all these other businesses, basically spent our money there, um, and at these different businesses, and basically got a kind of understanding of how to spend our money, how to budget, and kind of how economy works. And that really kind of got me interested in economics and business and things like that. And that kind of carries on to this day. After eighth grade, went to Hudson High School for grades 9 through 12. In Hudson High School, it's where I kind of finished out my academic career. Had a lot of really good teachers, some other teachers that I wasn't really a fan of. Um, but the two really big teachers that kind of inspired me to continue going down an educational path was a teacher called Miss Desitel, another teacher, Mr. Chafee. And Miss Desitel taught like history, world economics, and then law. And I took every single class that she offered, just because she was such like an interesting and inspiring person, and kind of made you want to be a better person. And the other person that really kind of inspired me was my teacher my senior year called Mr. Chafee, who taught civics. And what's really cool about Mr. Chafee is he really stressed, teaching you how to think and not really what to think. Because I felt all the way through high school, there's teachers, throwing facts at you, throwing ideas that you have to memorize for an exam. But Mr. Chafee really emphasized teaching you how to think and teaching you how to respect everyone else's opinions. Once a week on Fridays, we would come in and one student would bring in an idea, and the whole class would discuss that idea. There were some days where every single person in the class, was really one-sided and everyone was on one side. Well, Mr. Chafee would take the other side, and kind of argue that position. Whether or not he actually believed in that position, the world might not ever know. But Mr. Chafee's whole point was, to be respectful and to understand where other people are coming from, And a lot of those conversations stick with me to this day, and I still continue to enjoy having those conversations and enjoy like hearing how other people think, and wanting to show other people that you can have different opinions and respect those opinions and continue to learn and be cohesive with each other. And that's something that I really wish to continue someday in my life. Well, once I graduated, I actually decided that I wanted to get kind of a bigger world view. Um, so I decided to take a year off between going to college and going to continue my education. One of my biggest, Mr. Chafee was awesome, but he'd actually never been south of Iowa. He lived in River Falls, went to UW River Falls, and taught in Hudson, Wisconsin. And as awesome of a teacher as he was, I wanted to have some real life experience. So the first thing I actually did was went down to UW La Crosse, spent a weekend here, and I went out to Florida for a month. I came back to La Crosse again, even though I'm from Hudson. I made friends down here, came back to La Crosse. Then I went out to New Hampshire, came back to La Crosse. Then I went out to Utah, came back to La Crosse, went out to Montana, came back, and I went to Chicago for 3 months, came back to La Crosse again, and then I actually ended up going to Oregon because I was going to establish residency there and go to school in Oregon. Once I was out there, I was there for 4 months. Kind of realized that it wasn't really the place I wanted to call home. La Crosse was the place that I kept coming back to, and then I decided to apply to school here. Came back, and the rest is history. Now I'm here. Since going like all these different places, kind of getting these world experiences, especially out in Oregon. I worked at a ski resort, and I would talk to people from Australia, New Zealand, from all over Europe, South America, and kind of hearing these different worldviews and hearing how people thought made me really think back to Mr. Chafee and later on in life, and wanting to have these conversations with people for the rest of my life, and kind of teaching other people that it's okay to know how to think rather than what to think. And that kind of is well, it is my major inspiration to keep going.